So my name's Scott Graves. I'm the European Business Manager for F1030 Tattoo Aftercare. And for 20 years now, F1030 Health has been in wound care and dermatology. So we're basically a company that manufacture, research and develop wound care products for the wound care market across the world. So we predominantly spend our time in hospitals in the UK with district nurses, practice nurses, educating on wound care and also the healing of wounds in many different aspects such as leg ulcers, burns, radiotherapy, but for anything from grazes and abrasions to, loss of limbs. So F1030 actually came about 18 months ago. Obviously we're having such a heavy involvement in wound care, and myself personally also been involved obviously in tattoos, having tattoos myself. We actually sort of sat around the table actually discussing tattoos. It was quite funny because the CEO of the business, this was a summer's day when we were discussing this, and he didn't actually realise, he'd only ever seen me in a suit in a business environment, and he didn't realise that I actually had tattoos myself. And on that we were discussing tattoos and the healing of tattoos, and the question as to whether a tattoo is a wound. And obviously having many tattoos myself, obviously it was realisation that a tattoo is a wound. Once the dermis and the epidermis has been broken, that the healing process is very similar to that, whether it be a cut, abrasion, a burn, that you're going to go through that process in healing that tattoo. And it was to then look at the development of a product that we could actually use going down the strict sort of medical guidelines. So it means that it would be very sort of regulatory, and the fact that we'd have evidence behind this product, because aftercare itself is a very saturated market and there's lots of products on them in the marketplace, but none of them of which is a medical device and has gone through the controls of that. So we've been 18 months in the development of putting this product together now.
I'm Jane Parker. I'm a tissue viability nurse for the NHS in a small district general hospital in West Norfolk. I've been working in this particular trust, which is an acute trust, for 3.5 years, nearly 4 years. Prior to that I worked as a community tissue viability nurse in Berkshire for 6 years. Prior to that, which I think is quite important, I actually worked as a clinical nurse advisor for maggot therapy, which is well used within wound care. Well, this product is a medical device, it's not a cosmetic. All of the dressings that I would use on a daily basis to heal wounds, these are medical devices also. Companies have to evidence any claims that they make regarding their products. So, if they're saying that it promotes moist wound healing, they actually have to evidence that and show how it does it. If not, it will not actually become registered as a medical device. And that's quite different to cosmetics, which most aftercare products are. So instantly, as soon as your body is wounded, your body will try and stop it from bleeding. Okay, so this is an instant response. So it's called hemostasis. What will happen is your tiny blood vessels will start to constrict. So you get vasoconstriction, so they're trying to close up to stop the body from bleeding. And then we have the clotting cascade. So it's going to start to try and scab up. Okay, so that's what happens immediately. The F1030 is based on, or the basis of it is another product from F1030 Health, which is called Flamagel. It is like the #1 selling over-the-counter product for, I suppose, like we would use something like Sudocrem. They also use it for radiation burns, is quite widely used. And that's how they're bringing it over to the UK as well as a radiation burn product. So it's been used for a long time, and as I said, F1030, the basis is Flamagel, and it's had synthetic oils added to it to make add that emollient feel to it, so that it's actually donating moisture and obviously suppleness to the skin. F1030, how does it help promote that moist wound healing environment? So it's a protective and moisturising cream, provides a fatty barrier, so that will help reduce the water loss from the epidermis, but it also provides moisture, so it provides that balance that we need to keep the optimum healing environment. I've used it on about 3 tattoos now that I've had, and they've all healed in less than a week. So I think that just tells you really. A barrier against external contamination, so it is like having a dressing over your tattoo because it provides that film. And then there's the added emollient, which we also need. So after a few days, I'm sure you've seen with your own tattoos, they start to dry out a bit. So it then has an added emollient to help with that. Scott obviously asked me to be involved with this, so I don't actually work for the company. I've been part of an advisory panel along with Professor Richard White, who's a professor in tissue viability and dermatology. As I say, we've been part of the advisory panel for the F1030 product. So he knew what I did for a living, and he also knew that I had tattoos, so that's why he asked me to be involved really. As I say, it's a medical device, so it's gone through lots of regulatory, ensuring its safety and quality and efficacy. Lots of natural ingredients in it, so they can actually say that it's vegan friendly. It's something that we're trying to get across in the literature and obviously in the promotional side of things. It's really important to remember that your tattoo is a wound. You know, you have pierced the skin, so any break in the skin is actually a route for infection. So it's important that one, you wash your hands before you touch your tattoo, but also keep that area clean. Don't go and soak in a bath, that's not going to be great for your tattoo or any wound, but you can shower it. So using a pH balanced soap, clean the wound, make sure all the soap's washed away, and then pat it dry with a clean towel before you then apply the F1030. Because obviously the tattooist knows that, you know, what they're using is clean, they use their sterile needles, you know, they wear gloves, but they don't have any jurisdiction over what happens when, you know, they can give advice the same as we do as tissue viability nurses. We can give advice on what to do and how to look after your tattoo or your wound, but whether patients, customers take that advice is a different matter. Everyone has a choice, so all we can do is advise.
We've had several tattoo artists that have been involved in this project from when we started, doing full evaluations with their customers using F1030 post-tattoo treatment.
Ollie Smith and Bournemouth is where the studio is at. Yeah, tattoos are coming back, healing quicker, a lot brighter for instance. Yeah, and just a lot less oily compared to, like, for instance, Panthen. Yeah, previously, like some of the aftercare I've had before, it's only like 4 or 5 days. But this one, yeah, it's slightly quicker. Yeah, for instance, yeah, I did like Scott's head and healed within about 3 days. Yeah, I spoke to the guys at F1030 and we're going to be stocking up at our studio.
I used it the first time on my head, and for ages I'd used Panthen and found that I used to come out in little spots, like after spots where it's like so like sort of thick to lay on, that used to clam the skin up. So I was always looking for another product basically that would do a better job, and then I started using Aquaphor, like by Eucer, an American product, basically does the same thing as a nappy rash cream, but never used an actual product that had been formulated for tattooing. So yeah, Ollie said, obviously I've got this stuff in, blah blah, do you want to give it a go? So I was like, yeah, it's fine. And the first one I tried it on was both sides of my head, to be fair. And yeah, tried it on that one, and yeah, it was wicked, to be fair. There was no, like, you didn't have any of that that tackiness to it. So you didn't have like I hate anything being on my skin anyway. Like I don't use moisturiser and that sort of stuff. I don't like products being on my skin in general. So when it comes to aftercare products, I try and limit it to like as low as I can, sort of things. I don't like things being on there, and I didn't find it was really tacky or anything like that. It was like I didn't have any I didn't have those little spots I got with Panthen and stuff because it didn't cover the skin. Yeah, I found it, to be fair, yeah, decent product. Yeah. Say Ollie's give us some season. Say since I've used it, I've found absolutely no problems with it at all. It's been bang on.
Charlotte Bergman and Hoylake Black Lodge Electric. I've been tattooing for about 8 years now. It's come leaps and bounds, but the industry needs something like this because it comes from a medical background, so I think it's much better. I feel more confident giving it to my customers, and I know they're going to go away and be able to look after the tattoo correctly. They've been tattooed by me for years, some of them, and they've used many other creams, and by far it's the best one, and they just can't wait for it to be on the market. Yeah, I love it. It's brilliant. I used it on my last tattoo that I got in Amsterdam, and yeah, I loved it. Yeah, there's nothing that it's lacking that other products have. It just covers everything, so I don't see why I'd want to keep recommending any other product when it is the best one for me anyway.
Gilles Brackman is our research pharmacist. He's based over at Contique in Belgium, and his role is purely looking at the development of new products that can help with dermatology and wound care issues.
Okay, so my name is Gilles Brackman, and I work at Flen Pharma, or should I say Flen Health, for the research and development. So what we saw during the case studies that we did with F1030 is that the tattooed skin heals much faster than what you usually would expect, and this is mainly based to the fact that it contains a natural lipoalginate structure, which is going to ensure an optimal moist balance on the skin and thereby improves healing. So we selected some specific sun protectant factor ingredients. So what we did was we developed our formulation in such a way that F1030 protects until an SPF of 25. We didn't go higher because when you have to go higher, you're going to get a product which is more difficult to absorb into the skin, so it leaves a kind of white film. But secondly, you also have to use much harder SPF ingredients which come with allergic reactions or sensitization. So that's why we only selected safe to use SPF ingredients, which can still protect you from sunlight or UV rays.
I got my panther tattoo. It's a start of a sleeve, so I think it was about 4 hours. I think we started at 10. It's now about 2, is it? I think it is about 2, so about 4 hours. Had a little break in between. Quite sore. It's like the normal burning sensation after a tattoo, but it's not too bad. Bearable. Fine. It's fine.
It's okay with bang.
Yeah, it's good. It's a lot of black there, so it needs a good cream, doesn't it? Yeah. It does feel quite nice with, you know, when you rub the cream in afterwards as well. But yeah, it's definitely, yeah, it's cooling. It's soothing, definitely. Well, I try to be as vegan as I can in my personal life. I'm at home 100% vegan when I'm out, let's say 80% vegan. So, and cruelty-free products in general, I'm really looking for. And to find out that that's vegan and cruelty-free, that's a massive thing, definitely. And you often don't know about it, and a lot of people are looking for these products, definitely. And me too, definitely.
So my name is Casey Francis. I'm a networker for a tattoo studio in Gibraltar called Jib Ink, and we're pretty much testing out the products to appeal to our customers because of our weather. We have a very hot climate there and a lot of sunshine, so I think this product will pretty much appeal to those who want to enjoy the sunshine as well as take care of their tattoos straight after tattooing. Because of the hot climate out there, between the summer months, a lot of people would be a little bit cautious about getting tattooed because of, you know, how hot it is and the effects that the sun has on the healing process of tattoos. So we're always trying to find a way around this, or at least to help them out with the healing processes. And the fact that it has an SPF factor to it is really, you know, is something that we haven't really seen before. So we're willing to give it a test and to hopefully run it with our clients as well in the future. I don't see why not. It shouldn't be a staple item of aftercare for our clients during the summer period. I mean, you know, the fact that it's always hot out there and it's a fairly warm climate should appeal to our customers. The cream should pretty much appeal to them.
Getting sorer, but not the worst. I'm happy. Now it's finished. Look at that. Whoosh. Could have done without the pain. That was good. To be fair, we just It's nice and chilled out. It's a nice convention here, so. The competition starts at 6, but it's oriental. Basically, we let it bleed out a little bit, because obviously you can see it's bleeding still. And then obviously get on stage, and then as soon as we come off stage, that's when we'll start whacking something on it so it can heal up nicely.
I used it when it was just originally Flamagel, and then I've used the newer product as well, as in its F1030 form. And the biggest thing for me that it actually provided was that it soothed the skin. So a tattoo is very much like a graze, you know, when you graze your knee and you get that really stinging, burning sensation. And that is the inflammatory response that's going on. So your body's actually trying to heal your wounds. As soon as you apply the F1030, it really just stops that pain and discomfort. So I think that was the biggest thing for me. So basically it dries as a film, so the same as you put a film dressing on, that will do exactly the same thing. So when you said about it, you know, bleeding, if there's any fluid coming out of it, this will actually absorb it. This is a lipoalginate, so it absorbs it, and then when it starts to scab up, it'll donate fluid to it. So it keeps that moisture balance, so when you use this, it doesn't scab up at all. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you
Amazing.
so much. Thank you.
So I've just had my new tattoo. I'm just going to apply my F1030 to it. So fingertip amount and just rub it down over the tattoo.